So on my list of like worst things in the world, probably about a 3 or 4 is boring cartoons. Those are the worst. It's like right below getting anthrax in the mail and apparently North Korea apparently nuking us all, which is something that they're capable of doing now. So have fun sleeping at night. But you guys know what I mean, right? Like, boring cartoons are the worst. When you're watching a story, you want to be emotionally invested in it. You actually want to care what happens to these characters. I mean, they want you to care about these characters so bad so that they can sell all this merch that they have, like every toy. Why don't you go buy the shirt, the plushie, the spaceship version of each character that was never seen in the actual shows or movies, but you'll buy it anyways because you're a sheep. But for you to have that kind of connection, usually the characters have to be interesting. And here's the problem with a lot of cartoons, not just end cartoons, but I'm picking on them because that's what I watch. A lot of these characters are just Mary Sue's. Like, honestly, think about it. Like, Twilight Sparkle, for instance, because I know you guys love that pony stuff, but Twilight Sparkle literally finds the problems to every single situation in, like, a book or some magic MacGuffin. Everything seems to always go her way. Like, anytime she loses, like, she instantly re-wins. Like, when she lost her treehouse, she didn't lose any of her, like, friends. Like, her owl was still alive, Spike was still alive, and then she gets a giant castle, which of course they turned into yet another toy, which is probably the main reason why they were like, oh, man, we've ran out of things to turn the treehouse library into. Let's just get rid of it and replace it with something else so we can sell it. I literally have no worries in that show because there's no sense of anticipation. I can pretty much tell how the plot's going to end from the moment it starts. There's no suspense here, man. You really think there's gonna be a situation where Twilight Sparkle actually loses? Of course not. And don't think it's just MLP, for those of you guys who hate that. Adventure Time, amazing show, I love it to death. They have a real problem with actually keeping real loss. Anything that they've lost of serious significance has always been returned to them. Spoiler alert, when Finn loses his arm, he doesn't actually lose his arm. He gains a robotic one and then eventually gets another organic one. They could have had a situation in which Finn actually lost his arm and now he has to adapt to only having one arm, and this is just how he is. This is just his life now. But of course not. Of course you can't have serious consequences in shows because God forbid we teach kids that life has consequences and the actions that you choose to partake while you're free to partake in them will come back to bite you in the ass if they're dumb. Star vs. Love the show, probably even more than MLP, let's be honest. Star is a Mary Sue. I gotta say it. She's a good Mary Sue, but at the end of the day, she's so overpowered. She is so overpowered. If it had been her mother who had saved the day in the finale of the last, or the premiere of this season, I guess, because they premiered like the first 4 episodes and then they took a 7-month break, I guess, for reasons. If it had been someone else who defeated the main villain, yo, that would have been perfect. That would have put Star in a very vulnerable situation where she wasn't able to overcome everything because plot armor, I guess. That would have been awesome, but of course that doesn't happen. Star pulls out a magic MacGuffin where she turns into some sort of Hindu butterfly thing with peace and tranquility, then just evaporates everything. Like, these are all great shows and I enjoy Star Versus. It hasn't gotten to the point where like shows like MLP has, where the plot is so transparent. There are things in Star Versus that keep me interested, but you guys gotta admit, some of these characters, they're a little bit OP. If you take Superman, for instance, and I know he's kind of movie, but he's also been in tons of shows and has had his own shows all the time. He's the ultimate example of someone who I hate to watch, and it's because he's boring. He has literally every power. He can rewind time. He's got no weakness besides kryptonite and a red sun. which is extremely hard to use, where it's pretty much the writers write themselves in a corner every time they use him, because he can only be taken out by that one thing, that kryptonite, his literal kryptonite. You have to incorporate a plot where that is used in order to create any suspense with him, and when you're a one-trick pony like that, it becomes boring real quick. I mean, this guy can freeze time, he can run faster than the Flash, he can become smarter by Batman because he can super learn, he is like stronger than the Hulk, he has heat vision, super speed, like everything, every power underneath the sun this guy has. He's like, if you went on DeviantArt and you read some of the like descriptions of some of these OCs, do not steal, this would be Superman. Like, if you strip away Superman's name and you put something like a Sonic recolor over it, you'd be like, this is stupid. This is dumb. This is insanely overpowered. How would anyone enjoy this? Why would you make this? Please stop. But no, just because he's in spandex and Stan Lee appropriated him from some high school apparently, you know, he's good. He's DC, guys. DC Comics, they can't do any wrong. Look, I completely get it. Not every show is supposed to have this deep, like, huge plot and have these characters go through all kinds of emotional turmoil. Cartoons, as much as they are for teaching and giving all kinds of diversified experiences in life, they're also there as escapism. People go through that stuff in their normal lives. Sometimes they just don't want to have to watch it too. Cartoons can serve all kinds of purposes. I think there is a way that you can make a character who always wins without making him a Mary Sue, but it's probably just harder than any studio would want to put the effort into. People are obviously happy with these characters, and you can't really use the excuse that there's no other characters out there that don't have this issue, because there are. They are pretty readily available if you just use the internet. And so that really just says that people like Mary Sue's. They like a Boy Scout. They like someone that they know will always win, because maybe they themselves keep on taking losses. And sometimes nice to see someone else that you like win for a change. And in that thought, I get it. I really do. But at the same time, I'd like to see one of these characters maybe lose something at some point, learn from it and grow, and actually have to accept the consequences of their actions or lack thereof. There are some scenes like this in other shows, but normally it's off camera and it's in the past. But I want to see it happen in the present. I want to grow with these characters. Maybe that's the problem. I grew up, but the characters, they never did. And in that thought, I guess cartoons aren't really meant for me. They're meant for the kids of this generation. But hey, that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down below about the whole Mary Sue things. I mean, I can't be the only one who's noticed this. It's almost like every single character is a Mary Sue at this point, and maybe it's even just being oversaturated, the word. Maybe you guys don't even consider them Mary Sues. Hey, if that's the case, let me know down below. I've been Faith Luminous, and I thank you guys for listening to a ramble. But if we can hit 600 likes again, that would be amazing. We smashed that goal last time at 700 likes as of recording this. 724. So, it means a lot, guys, especially with YouTube cracking down once again. And if you have a few extra dollars laying around, maybe consider supporting me on Patreon. If you can't do that, you can always just subscribe. Faith Luminous, guys. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Woo!